Level 100. Pinnacle of power for a Pokemon. Very few Pokemon ever reach this level. This is a series of videos in which I push Pokemon's levels to the absolute limit by raising them to 100 in unconventional ways and environments. Because, more or less, I'm crazy. This is the Level 100 Gauntlet. I hope you enjoy. April 22nd, 2007. It's hard to believe that it's been almost 10 years since that day. The day that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl were released in North America. I have so many fond memories of these games and 4th gen in general that I wanted to do a level 100 Gauntlet challenge to kind of celebrate the generation and experience it all over again. So for this challenge, I'll be using my original DS that I first played Diamond version on, and my original Diamond file that I've miraculously been able to keep for 10 years without getting the urge to ever delete. Today's challenge, if you can call it that, will involve my favorite key item in the entire Pokemon franchise, the Versus Seeker. The Versus Seeker lets you rematch pretty much any trainer as long as they're not indoors in a cave or in the forest or something. Pretty much just any trainer on a standard route. And my goal today will be to rematch every single trainer that I can possibly rematch in the game with the Versus Seeker. Pokemon I'll be using for this is the shiny Starly that I caught in my PokeRadar chaining tutorial video from a few years ago. Because it's only at level 2, and I think it's always fun to train shinies. I haven't really done any calculations beforehand about how much experience we'll get by battling every single trainer, so I'm not sure if we'll even reach level 100 battling every trainer, or if we'll reach level 100 early. At the end of the day, my goal is to explore every route all over again and reminisce about why I love these games so much. So let's let the gauntlet begin. Very fitting our first battle is... oh no. Oh no. It got stronger. Getting in some levels anyway, let's go. This is more like it. So I started out just plowing through the early routes of the game, which I admit aren't the most memorable early routes of any Pokemon game, but knowing things would get better soon, I just kept on pressing on. If I faced a Pokemon much higher level than me, no big deal. I could just swap out and fight it with one of my stronger Pokemon and let my Starly get a little bit of residual experience from it. Nope, 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 nope. Now we got an evolution. Only 2 routes in. Pretty darn good progress. Staravia. Got an old friend here. Still got some stuff to do with this Butterfree. Just haven't gotten around to it in a couple years. You'll see why eventually. I'm not sure if this guy's a trainer or not. Okay, neither of these guys are trainers. Cool. I feel like this is going to be a recurring theme.
So I'm not looking like any guides or anything. I'm just going off of what I remember.
Used to read these books all the time, especially this Pokédex. I pretty much wore this book out. I haven't actually used this book or any guide at all during this challenge. Some might have ended up accidentally missing out on a trainer, but if I did miss out on one, I'm not too worried. At the end of the day, my main goal isn't necessarily to fight every single trainer, but to go to every route and to fight a unique trainer every single time without having to rematch too many of the same people. Which I don't even know if I'll be able to do that or not yet.
Oh, you're not a trainer either. Great. This Infernape was my first Gen 4 Pokemon ever. Obtained April 22nd, 2007. That person had a single exclamation mark. Have I not battled them before? In my 364 hours of playing this game, there's still a trainer that I haven't fought yet. That's pretty incredible. Nice job hiding from me all these years, Sienna.
Finding trainers that I haven't battled before kind of reminds me of how thoroughly I play these games now compared to how I used to play them. I used to just kind of plow through the games and then just kind of spend all my time training Pokemon afterwards. But now whenever I start a Pokemon game, I exhaust every single dialogue. I talk to every single person. A lot changes over the years.
Another trainer I haven't fought yet. Alright, day one, and I've covered pretty much all the ground from here to here. Which is actually the exact same amount of ground that I covered first day I got Diamond version. Because I believe I got through the second gym badge that first night and just kind of stopped. Kind of interesting how it goes like that. But pretty much the only reason I'm stopping right now is I'm getting kind of tired. Made some pretty decent progress, especially for it being the early routes where most of the Pokemon are pretty low leveled. Level 30 right now, can't complain. Looking like we have some good leveling to do with the rest of the map. Might even be able to get this thing all the way to 100 without having to repeat trainers. I don't know yet though, and I don't want to calculate it. I just want to see if it happens or not, and then just take it from there. So I guess I'll press this power button, which I've accidentally pressed way too many times on this system, and call it a night. I'll see you in the morning or another day whenever I decide to pick this back up again if I don't immediately do this tomorrow. I should be immediately doing this tomorrow though. Alright, so it's day 2 right now. I am playing Pokemon Go, and whenever I get home from this walk, I'm going to resume training Staravia. So, let's get at it. It's gonna be tricky. We just exchanged intimidation. I feel like we're bonding on a new level. I feel that the bicycle is a very underappreciated feature in Diamond and Pearl, because you can shift gears. The gear shifting mechanic was really cool and provided the same kind of balance that Acro and Mach Bike did in Gen 3, without having to go and swap bikes, and unfortunately without the really cool tricks like the bunny hops. And the gear shifting sound was so satisfying, to the point where you just want to press B all the time. Cycling Road was kind of tricky to maneuver for this, especially trying to stop in just the right spot to use the Versus Seeker, but we somehow managed.
Alright, we've gone through Cycling Road and now Staravia is evolving.
So I haven't played too much today, but I just realized now that there's a Pokemon XY Marathon on TV, which is pretty cool. I haven't watched like any of that series, nor have I really watched much of the Pokemon anime at all since Diamond and Pearl, honestly. So I'm gonna just kind of watch this marathon for a little bit and see what kind of leveling I can get in for the rest of the night. We're at level 34 right now. Let's see how much further we can go.
That was Hawlucha. That was sick. Never seen Hawlucha in the show before.
So I only did like one route while watching this because I want to film every single trainer's initial encounter, and holding my camera the whole time was getting really tiring. So I'm gonna go train somewhere else.
I remember when Diamond and Pearl first came out in Japan, September of 2006. That was the first time I ever actually stayed up to date with the game as it launched over in Japan, or was even aware that the games launched in Japan before they came out in America. And I would just go home from school and check Cerebi forums every day. And we didn't even have the best internet back then. We had dial-up. So I'd like spend almost an hour loading up a 5-minute 240p YouTube video of someone catching Arceus. It was just the most magical thing to watch ever. I spent the entire school year from September to April just imagining what Diamond and Pearl would be like whenever they eventually reached the States over here. And I remember having weird dreams in the middle of the night of me starting my journey in these games and it being completely different from how it ended up being in the final version, but it was still awesome. Diamond and Pearl probably mean more to me than any other Pokemon game, just in the sense that it was the most excited I had ever been for a Pokemon game, waiting for it. Alright, I believe that was the last trainer on Route 212, which was a monster of a route in terms of trainers. And now, since yesterday, I've covered this area and this area, which doesn't seem like a lot, but this route was huge. And right now I'm at level 48, which is halfway, almost halfway in terms of level, but not necessarily in terms of experience. So we still got a long way to go. Pretty confident we can make some good progress tomorrow, though. Starting up day 3. Start my morning right with what's been one of my favorite drinks forever. And watching something that I never thought would occupy so much of my time. With something that I knew was always going to occupy my time from the start. So let's get to training. This route is actually where I got my first ever 4th gen shiny. I got a Kricketune randomly, and oh, this is someone I've never battled before. But it was Kricketune, and I just named it Oh Yeah, but as one word. Most forgotten HM of the entire Pokemon series, outside of competitive battling recently. And the last route of the night that I did was the first water route in the game. And oh boy, original Diamond and Pearl water routes. For some reason, surfing is incredibly slow in Diamond and Pearl, and they thankfully fixed it in Platinum to make it a regular speed. But moving back and forth in the water to recharge the Versus Seeker was painstaking and took forever. Tomorrow we're coming up on probably the slowest routes in the game. More water routes and the snow route. So I'm in for a wild ride tomorrow. Today, I'm going to take on the snowy area, but it's really hot outside. I remember this route being among the hardest Pokeradar chain in the game because of the snow effects, and I'm just super impressed that anyone was able to get anything on it. I remember Z33, I'm pretty sure he got everything he could possibly get here. That guy was a Pokeradar chaining legend. I then proceeded to spend the next full hour just rematching trainers on the snowy and water routes. I love the entire edition of the snowy routes though. It introduced a super cool, unique environment that I hope to see in more future Pokemon games.
And with that last water trainer, we have fought every single trainer on every single route on the mainland in this game. So now, we need to go to the island up here. Or the peninsula. We don't know if it's an island or a peninsula. I think it's based off of like Russia or something, so it's probably just a peninsula. Whatever, to the fight area. Gonna do this water route first, just to knock it out. Because I don't want to end on a water route, that sounds so boring. I always thought that these two trainers right here were some of the coolest cameos the Pokemon series has ever done with like the movies. These are like actually based off of the people from the Jirachi movie. They have the exact same Pokemon and they kind of talk about putting on a Pokemon show. I'm not sure if the localization actually kept the same names, but I'm pretty sure in Japan they were also named the same thing that they were named in the movie.
I'm going to abbreviate showing these last few routes here for the sake of time. Pretty much all I have to say about them is that I think they're all pretty cool, and that I'm still salty that I lost my shiny Beldum on the Sandstorm route a few years ago on my first ever Pokeradar chain shiny.
No. No.
And I use these routes pretty frequently to train Pokemon to level 100 in the unexciting way of just battling over and over again the exact same trainer. And with this Bird Keeper, we've reached the very last trainer that we could fight and rematch with the Versus Seeker. And by fighting every single unique trainer, we managed to get to level 95, which isn't bad at all. In order to try and see if I can stay true to this battling a unique trainer every time without battling the same trainer twice, now I'm going to do the rival rematch that you can do every weekend, and then if I still need some leveling from there, I'm going to fight the Elite Four in the Pokemon League.
I really don't know why I named this guy Darius. I legitimately didn't know anyone named Darius at the time of playing through Diamond and Pearl. Okay, this might just be one of my favorite phrases right here. So I went forward after the rival battle and took on the Elite Four again. Very fittingly, I happened to hit level 100 right as soon as I got to the champion battle. Level 100. Very fitting to have it on the champion battle. And with that, we've managed to complete the task of going through the whole entire Sinnoh region, battling a different trainer every time and getting our Staraptor level 100. It was a fun time going through every route again, and I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more level 100 gauntlets with more exciting challenges sometime in the future. I'll see you next time.